talking about the sports you do and don't know, both within and surrounding Baltimore. Don't ask him about preseason games, oh no, stuffing things in Griffin Basso. Despite it being on the internet, he can call it what he wants, so Glenn Clark Radio, Glenn Clark Radio, Glenn Clark Radio. Duke sucks.
He'll be listed as a knee, so it's not the hamstring, nothing there. Some soreness coming out of the game, so he should be okay. I'm looking forward to practice tomorrow.
We will look forward to seeing if Lamar Jackson is on the practice field today, because some of us are going to and really don't want to go there and not see Lamar Jackson. Hi, good morning. It is, by the way, I see the internet is picking up on just how cheap the tickets are for Sunday's game. Been a lot of internetery about Sunday's ticket prices out in Cleveland. Some of us noticed that very quickly and said, might be worth making a venture. So, yeah, hopefully Lamar Jackson will be part of that. There's a lot of panic yesterday when Lamar Jackson...
You going to move down and just sit right behind the, I'm going to say dugout, right behind the bench?
I don't want to do anything that would get us in trouble. I've got my kids with me on Sunday. You act like I haven't been kicked out of a stadium before for moving.
I'm sure there were more. I'm sure there had to have been at least
Not
one
at all.
other factor.
Not
rather
remotely.
than, I'm supposed to be sitting in seat 4? Then
Drew Forrester. Now, you don't know the story?
I mean, I know.
We went to a game, an Orioles game at Yankee Stadium, like back when it first opened.
Sure.
And it was our first chance to see the new stadium. And the Orioles were terrible. And it was an afternoon game. They were wretched. I don't remember what year this would have been. What year did the stadium open? 10?
09?
09, something like that. It was hotter than hell. It was an afternoon game. We took the day off, and
It was 09.
It was 09.
Yeah.
So we decided to lead the station bus trip up to New York that day. We were like, we're taking the day off. We want to go. We want to see the stadium, the whole thing. And we're sitting right in the sun, baking, dying, up at the top. And we said, let's just move down a little bit. We don't have to go crazy. Like, we're not going to go all. We just move down like a level.
Okay.
And into the shade.
Wise.
And as soon as we did, sure enough, Usher comes by, taps us on the shoulders, and we said, all right, yeah, you got us. He said, nope, you're out of here.
What?
Fact. Now, what we found out, and Drew loves telling the story because, like, God bless Drew. He did everything in his power. Drew's then went like this. I want to see your supervisor. I want to see until finally the NYPD got involved. We went through, I think, 6 layers of supervisors, and the next supervisor was the NYPD, who informed us that we were either walking out of the stadium on our own or walking out in handcuffs. It was our choice. But what we learned, because we went to a bar, and we were talking about it with some folks at the bar, and we found out that at Yankee Stadium, the story is everyone knows you can sit where you'd like as long as you drop a few dollars to the usher in the section. And that's the lesson that we were being taught.
Gotcha.
Was you go ahead.
Before you sit down, or
when
or
you
like
approach that section.
Gotcha.
You say, now I don't know if it's still the case. This is 16 years ago. I have no idea what it's like then. But you hand them, I don't remember what the number would have been. You hand them some dollars. They say, you go right ahead. We will not bother you.
Interesting.
But if you don't, they're coming to get you.
I guess I needed to know this when I went to the Coliseum last summer, and they would not let us move down into. I mean, there's no one there, obviously, so they would not let us move down to like we were trying to get pretty close, but they would not let us into that lower section, whatsoever. And I was like,
I know this has been an issue at times at a lot of whatever. I choose not to get worked up about it, and we're gonna just buy some tickets and sit where we'd like to sit, and hopefully watch Lamar Jackson play football on Sunday. Hopefully. I am not. All the conspiracy theorists came out yesterday. They're hiding something. John's never honest about injuries. This has got to be worse than it was. Or this is what the real injury was when they said it was a hamstring. Like all of the conspiracy theories came out.
Well, I'm on their side, but
there you go. What's yours? You pick one.
I mean, probably that he's like he might never touch a football again in his life.
There might not actually be.
He might have actually died this week. That's what I think.
Let's not do that. I understand that the Ravens have earned their reputation when it comes to the injury stuff. And as I said before, this is one of the weird things where, like, I don't typically get very worked up about it. Drew and I had this conversation. The NFL has to do something at some point because of their relationship with the gambling companies. We had a lengthy conversation on VSiN recently with Mitch and Paulie about this topic, where I understand why I don't really care that John Harbaugh was trying to play poker with the Bears a few weeks ago. That doesn't bother me, Glenn Clark. I understand why it's a problem and why John Harbaugh and the Ravens were fined a sizable amount of money, because I get it. You're trying to be on the up and up as much as possible and to not make betting fraudulent. So it's a weird conversation where there's a nuanced take to be had. I would be surprised in the aftermath of that if John Harbaugh was again trying to play poker this week. I would be surprised. But hopefully, Lamar Jackson will practice today. This will be one of those weird, they just decided to give him a day off. He's Lamar Jackson. He gonna be all right.
Yeah. Or you and the boys get to see a banger of a football game that ends like 12-9 or something.
Huntley versus Dylan Gabriel, the thing that we've always imagine if this is what ticket prices are now.
Oh my God!
Imagine.
You want to come to the game? Come on in. Come on
in. All right, so there's that. Also, an update about Marlon Humphrey from John Harbaugh yesterday.
Finger pinned, so Marlon won't be playing in the game, but he'll be recovering, and hopefully the next week he'll be back.
So there you go. And that's sort of a follow-up on what he had said Monday, which was there could be a procedure, it's a pin, and the part that you can't say out loud is if you're going to pick a time to do it, this is probably the time to pick to do it when you look at the schedule. But you can't say that out loud because then if you lose to the Browns on Sunday, which is still possible, they've lost a lot of games in Cleveland of late. I think they've lost, 3 of their last 4 in Cleveland?
They have not swept the Browns since 2021.
Right, because the one year they did beat them in Cleveland, they, of course, lost to Deshaun Watson at home in Baltimore. Yeah. So, it's totally plausible that they lose in Cleveland. Like, that's realistic. Nobody wants to hear that, but it is. So you don't want to be saying, because then – but it's sort of an unspoken thing where, like, if it might be helpful down – the line, then maybe this is a good time to do it. Maybe, because you're facing the Browns and the Jets. So those are the significant ones. Now, on top of that, Rashad Bateman did not practice yesterday, which, based on how John Harbaugh described it on Monday, I guess was a bit surprising because the way that he described it was kind of dismissive about Rashad Bateman and the knee injury, or the ankle?
Yeah, ankle. For
yes,
Bateman.
Ankle. Thank you. There it is. Yeah. Sorry, I'm trying to do this off the top of my head, where it's right in front of me. I have no idea what the story is on Justice Hill, where that came from. We knew that Jay Higgins was going to be out for some time. The question there was going to be whether or not they put him on IR. As of right now, they have not put him on IR, so do with that what you will. But that was the injury report from yesterday. We will see if maybe, for example, Bateman perhaps is back out there today. And Lamar Jackson, obviously, will be the one that we're spending the most time looking at today. Yeah, I don't think there was I don't think he said anything about Justice Hill, which is weird. So there you go. That's what we learned from the Ravens yesterday as they get ready to play the Cleveland Browns. Coming up a little bit later on in the program, we will make picks for Week 11 of the NFL season with our buddy Ken Zalis. Also, speaking of the Ravens, Mark Andrews is just 3 yards away from tying and 4 yards away from breaking the Ravens' all-time receiving yardage record. And the man who holds that record, at least for now, Derrick Mason, all-time Ravens legend, will join us a little bit later on to talk about Mark Andrews coming for his record. And I'm sure Derrick Mason will say nothing but sweet things about Mark Andrews. This is the nice thing. Although I know some guys do like having those records. They do appreciate it. Whenever we get to the spot, they always say all the right things, and so I look forward to hearing from Mace.
Yeah, or he
about
comes on.
that.
I hope.
Yeah, I hope he never plays another game. I don't think Mace is going to do that. Just don't think that's going to be what Mace chooses to do. And we'll talk some college basketball here in just a second with Patrick Stevens. Today's show is brought to you by Game Day Men's Health in Owings Mills, Frederick, and Columbia. Whether you're dealing with performance issues, say, in the bedroom, whether you're dealing with stubborn belly fat that just isn't going away despite the work that you're putting in, whether you're dealing with just feeling sluggish and run down, they will give you a complimentary testosterone test. If it's not that, be like me, maybe some peptide treatment. 443-264-4454 in Owings Mills, 443-266-3505 in Columbia, 240-931-3717 in Frederick, and GameDayMen'sHealth.com. Joining us now, at least here at the start of the season, he'll be joining us every Thursday. He is our friend. You follow him on Twitter and Blue Sky at Discourse, D1S Course, Blue Ribbon, Washington Post, and clients always welcome. He is our buddy, Mr. Patrick Stevens. He's back with us now here on GCR. What's going on, sir? How are you?
I'm well, Glenn. How are you today?
Everything is all right. Obviously, the first real test for Maryland did not go well against Georgetown. I don't imagine there's much of a reason to think it's going to go a whole lot better this Saturday at Marquette.
No, and you know, I think that after an exhibition game and 3 regular season games, even in a situation where they were able to pull away and play a decent second half against Alcorn State, you know, I think the die is kind of cast on what this season is going to look like, which is they're going to have to defend like crazy because offensively there just isn't that much there. And I think that they will be better off with Miles Rice in the lineup. He did not play the other day. He did play against Georgetown. He will make things better. But at the same time, you know, they got half of their points at the foul line against Georgetown. You know, the offense had significant droughts in that game. It had an 11-minute stretch without a made field goal against Alcorn State to kind of let the Braves back into it briefly. That was a 19-point game. It looked like Maryland was in full get-well mode at 29-10, and Alcorn got back within 5 at one point early in the second half. You know, I don't know that 1 or 2 extra guys is going to fix how hard it is for those guys to score. Yeah. Now, if you have the choice of you can defend but you can't score, in the Big Ten in particular, well, you might be able to steal a few games that way. You know, like you can win some games in the high 50s and low 60s. It won't be much fun to watch, but you can do it, as opposed to not being able to defend. That would be a lot worse, I think. Not necessarily in the way of aesthetics. I think that's a more attractive thing to see. But if the results are going to basically be the same or maybe a little bit better in terms of good defense, bad offense, you know, I think Maryland's ceiling might be higher than, say, some of the late Patrick Ewing Georgetown teams that couldn't defend but could score on occasion. That said, they're a tough watch.
Yep.
And, you know, I think any team that's counting on getting to the foul line and getting offensive rebounds to create scoring opportunities, that's not necessarily the most sustainable thing. And as we saw against Georgetown, I mean, I think Georgetown's going to be pretty good, but Maryland's going to face better teams than that. And they're going to face teams that are playing better defense in in January and February than what Georgetown offered up this past Friday. So trying to figure out how they're going to be able to score in any kind of consistent or meaningful way is really, really challenging to envision at this point.
So that was the one, like, is there any world where, say, a Darius Adams, who has had some moments early on, could be a player that could step up and become a more consistent scorer as the season goes on, and that could make a difference? Is there, you bring up Miles Rice, is there anything that you could look at and say, hey, maybe there is room for reasonable offensive development among this group?
So I would expect there to be some. Adams is a freshman. Almost all of these guys are in their first year in this system. I think Andre Mills has shown some interesting things at times so far this season. Miles Rice, obviously, they have a legitimate Big Ten big man in Pharrell Payne. So there's some stuff to work with there. But at the same time, like, you're asking for a lot of things to hit for them to suddenly become a really dynamic offense. Whatever combinations they're throwing out there, it's not. There isn't one of those things where it's like, well, there's like 4 dangerous guys out there,
right?
And to try to get to that point, you're asking for a lot of development. And also, as I alluded to earlier, like, defenses are going to get better. There's also going to be more film on these guys for people to be able to prepare. So, I don't know how effective, is Mills going to be able to get as many open looks on Saturday as he did against Alcorn State. I mean, I have my doubts. I think Marquette will do a decent job defending Maryland, period. So I'm not terribly bullish on this. It's certainly a situation where you can understand why it is taking time. They've had injuries. All these guys are basically new. Obviously, 4 of them played for Buzz Williams last year at Texas A&M. But it's one of those things that it's hard to envision this thing being anything other than a distinct night in and night out challenge to score points.
Patrick Stevens with us here on GCR. Patrick, let's go through the local roundup. One of the results this week that stood out to me, Navy very competitive in a road game at Penn State, and that coming off the heels of obviously not being very competitive against Yale last Friday. I guess that's why I'm asking myself, does that tell us more about Navy, or does it tell us maybe a little bit more about Penn State?
It might actually tell us a little bit more about Yale. All things considered,
okay.
Because they're that's an Ivy League favorite, and they've been a team that early on in the season has done some things that have been kind of. I mean, going into Annapolis and winning the game they did there by 29. Then they go to Quinnipiac for their second game, which is the team that I think shared or won the regular season title in the MAC last year and has a League Player of the Year back. They won that game by 37. So I almost kind of, I thought Navy was going to have a shot to go up to Penn State, which is not supposed to be one of the better teams in the Big Ten. I doubt it will be. But I would look at Jinwoo Kim and Donovan Draper both having really, really good games for them in that environment up in State College. I think that sort of suggests that Navy isn't that far off.
Okay.
From being the team that I think people thought it was going to be early on. And like I said earlier, I think it's noteworthy that we should keep Yale in mind for talking about 11 and 12 seeds that could end up creating problems for somebody come March.
UMBC, very competitive at Dayton, then follows it up with essentially a buzzer-beating win at Morgan this week. We had talked about some of the steps they were going to have to take. What do we read into UMBC, who's off to a pretty decent start to the year?
Yeah, very encouraged there. I think the one downside for UMBC is they were up 11 at halftime at Morgan State, and the Bears were able to get back into it. But I also think Morgan State's improved.
Right.
DJ Armstrong with a 3-pointer with a second to go, and basically able to win that game for UMBC. They shot 57% in that game. Against Morgan State. A really encouraging sign. They have 4 guys averaging double figures. There's a little bit of who's going to take turns, whether it's Jalakai King or Dalen Dickerson, Ace Valentine. I think one of the telling numbers 3 games in for them, Ace Valentine has 17 assists and 4 turnovers. And, he was a guy that down the stretch last year, for good chunks of last year, just did not have a very effective season. Or at least not the sort of season that I think UMBC and he wanted to have. So for him to be kind of back on track a bit, and it seems like he's going to be one of the most important guys on a team that has a number of options. So I'm really encouraged by what's been seen so far from UMBC, and looking forward to seeing them Sunday afternoon against Wagner.
And then anything else on the local front that stood out to you the past week?
I mean, Towson was actually reasonably close with Houston.
Defensively, particularly,
Yeah, I mean, that was a 5-point game or so with 7-8 minutes to go, and then Towson quit scoring, which, you could say, well, Towson does that on occasion, but I would tell you Houston does that to people a lot. So, if you're Towson, to this point, you can't be too upset with having been competitive for 35 minutes at Houston, and then picked up wins in your other 2 games. They have a really interesting game against Norfolk State, the perennial MEAC contender, on Friday night at CQ Arena. Or is it? I guess it's not CQ Arena anymore.
It's
TU Arena. My apologies for getting my sponsors mixed up.
Although if you or a loved one has some money lying around, you could be the new TU Arena, I think.
Loyola came close to picking off NJIT. They lost on a buzzer beater. In some ways, like if you could have actually gotten to both of those buzzer beaters if you were particularly industrious, going from Hill Fieldhouse to Reitz Arena, just across Cold Spring Lane there on Tuesday night. So that's another team to I think keep an eye on. They have 2 games up at Fairfield this weekend against Fairfield and Stonehill. So those 2 games, opportunities for them before they have a more difficult stretch in their non-conference slate. But certainly, watching Loyola against the non-1 last week, I think there's encouraging signs there for them. I don't know if they're going to be like the second or third best team in the Patriot League, but they have some really interesting pieces on that roster. I think about, obviously, you got a guy like the speed kid, Braden Speed, who's back, obviously. But I think Jordan Stemke played really well, which I think is one of those things you would expect. I also thought that a guy like Sam Springer, the Air Force transfer, he looks like he's going to be a really good Patriot League player. And the guy that I kind of came away thinking that his ceiling was really, really high was Sebastian Emanalo, the English kid. And it's going to be a matter of how long it takes him to figure things out. But the raw skills are there, and he had a couple moments in that game where you're like, this could really, really translate.
Let's talk about big national stories from this week. I watched a little bit of Louisville, Kentucky, and I know Kentucky fought back in the second half, but hard not to be impressed by Louisville in that one and how quickly they've gotten things going. And then I guess Gonzaga again, right? Like, here we are. It's November, and Gonzaga looks like world beaters. The song remains the same.
Yes. So you mentioned the Louisville situation. They obviously had some rough, some lean years there at the end of the Chris Mack era, for sure. Kenny Payne did not work out, but Pat Kelsey has proven to be the perfect addition for them. And that backcourt with Brown and Conwell looks like it is going to be able to win them a lot of games this season. Yeah. They combined for 53 in that victory over Kentucky the other night. And so, you just kind of look at the overall depth that team has, the overall ability. It's a scary thought, to say the least. And then you mentioned Gonzaga. They had hammered Oklahoma on Saturday. They do even more damage to Creighton. I kind of flipped that game off and had kind of written it off in the middle of the second half. And then it just got worse.
Right.
So, I think Gonzaga at minimum building that non-conference resume and wasting no time in doing it in their final year in the WCC. It's going to be kind of interesting to see what that that situation looks like down the road, right, where they're playing essentially like some Mountain West teams, like Washington State and Oregon State. But, still plenty of opportunities for them to do some interesting things. Among their remaining non-conference games, Arizona State, Alabama, Kentucky, UCLA, Oregon. Oh, and Maryland has to deal with those guys.
Good luck. Good luck. Do we know yet if St. Mary's is going to the new Pac-12?
I don't believe they are. I believe the current setup is it's a 9-team scenario where there's five Mountain West teams. They're all of them with state in their name, plus
Utah
Washington State and
Colorado
Oregon State,
yeah.
and then Texas State over from the Sun Belt, and then Gonzaga. So at this point, it's sort of an 8-team football league, 9-team overall league.
Yeah, I'm sure they don't want another non-football, but like, God, what are you doing? You taking Gonzaga and not taking St. Mary's, given how good those games have been in recent years. That seems very silly to me. But what do I know? I'm someone who, has dealt with every conference being blown up in my life. All right, Patrick Stevens, let's play our game. Can Patrick name the MLB teams that this particular play?
For the record, Towson did strike an agreement with CQ, so it is back to
CQ
it is? Over the summer. Yes, over the summer.
Late breaking news. Sorry, you can no longer get the naming rights to CQ Arena.
We're back to CQ Arena.
How about that? All right, Patrick. We begin with the manager. 3 teams managed by Terry Collins.
Terry Collins was with Houston,
of course,
the Angels, and the Mets.
You can't name the Japanese team that he managed, can you?
Was he with the Oryx Blue Wave?
It's actually the Oryx Buffaloes, apparently, but still.
Okay.
Shut up. Just shut up. A little bit of a trickier 4-team guy. An all-star just once, although he did finish, I did not realize this, he finished in the top 10 of Cy Young voting twice as well. He is 4 teams for Andy Benes.
Andy Benes was in San Diego.
Of course.
And he was in St. Louis.
Absolutely, knocking out the bulk.
The bulk.
Yep.
He had a very brief cameo in 95 with Seattle.
How do you know that? How do you know that?
The other Andy Benes stop was, that's a little trickier.
This is between St. Louis and St. Louis again. So he was in St. Louis in 96 and 97, then departed, was somewhere else in 98 and 99, then came back to St. Louis for the final 3 years of his career.
Was he in Texas?
Oh, no. Arizona, that's
right. He was in Arizona.
Spot. Yeah, to wrap it up. And then someone we lost at far too young an age, someone who was a 3-time All-Star, pitched a no-hitter, if I remember correctly, twice in the top 5 of Cy Young voting, 3 teams for the late, great Darryl Kyle.
Darryl Kyle, Houston, Colorado, and St. Louis.
What's the schedule look like for you this week, sir?
So catching that Towson game tomorrow, do a doubleheader in D.C. on Saturday, Clemson, Georgetown, and Old Dominion GW, Wagner and UMBC come Sunday afternoon, and then over at George Mason next Tuesday, and Maryland Mount St. Mary's, first look at the Mount in the regular season next Wednesday. The Mason game's on Tuesday. On Wednesday, Maryland and Mount St. Mary's.
Excellent. At Discourse, D1S Course on Twitter and Blue Sky. That's how you follow him. Patrick Stevens, always appreciate you, my friend. Let's talk again next Thursday, all right?
Will do. Thank you.
Thanks, buddy. Patrick Stevens with us here on GCR as he is every week. Appreciate him taking the time. All right, when we come back in, the GM meetings this week, I believe they were in Vegas for Major League Baseball.
Yes.
Why didn't we?
These are.
Why didn't we think that one through?
How are these different than
the owners' meetings?
The
winter meetings.
Yeah, the winter meetings.
The winter meetings are not the GM meetings.
Why?
I don't remember the GM meetings ever really being a thing before. I got to be honest with you. This is the first time that I saw this much coverage of the GM meetings.
That's why I couldn't find the clip. I kept Googling winter meeting Mike Elias, and that's maybe why I didn't find it.
No, these are just the GM meetings. The winter meetings, they're normally in December.
That's what I thought, but I was like, maybe why not? They got some momentum because the World Series just ended. Why not jump right into the
looks like they are in
sure
Orlando.
The
winter meetings, Orlando from December 8th to 11th, which, of course, includes the draft lottery, the Rule 5 draft, and they normally announce whatever the committee it's the Today's Era, because this is the one that Bonds and Clemens are on. They normally announce those Hall of Famers at the winter meetings as well. This is not that. But Mike Elias spoke to reporters, and, of course, the Pied Piper himself, Scott Boras, spoke to reporters yesterday. We'll discuss a little bit of what we learned about the Orioles, if anything, from the GM meetings when we come back in. Don't forget everything you need to know about high school sports, countysports.zone, championship season and fall sports. Some titles have already been handed out. Playoffs continue. Get bracket updates. Find out who's already won every championship by going to countysports.zone. It's proudly sponsored by your local Toyota dealer and buyatoyota.com.
The weather's getting cooler, so when you and your family are picking out a place to dine, be it lunch or dinner, let's make it nice and easy. Now, with 2 great locations, the Costas Inn remains your #1 destination. Whether you want to get steamed crabs and the full Costas menu out at the original location at 4100 North Point Boulevard, or sample the complete menu minus the steamed crabs at the new location above the grandstand at the Timonium Racetrack, Costas is your place to go. Check out the website, costasin.com, for a look at the menu, and if you want to plan that crab feast, call 410-477-1975. The Costas Inn.
Gambling can be a fun and entertaining experience, but there are risks involved. If you're planning on betting on the game at the casino or on your phone or computer, know your limit, stay within it. Set a budget and a time to stop. Remember, gambling isn't a financial solution, and it doesn't mix well with alcohol or drugs. Know the risks and have a plan before you begin gambling. For free and confidential services, call 1-800-GAMBLER 24/7 or go to helpmygamblingproblem.org.
The latest edition of Press Box is available now. On the cover, Don Marcus profiles new Maryland Athletic Director Jim Smith, breaking down the challenge he faces in his new role and the unique background he brings to the job. Also inside, Brandon Schwartzberg takes an in-depth look at Orioles outfielder Dylan Beavers. And we meet college basketball players from all the programs around the state before the season gets underway. Press Box is available for free at over 250 locations throughout the region. And starting this month, you can find us at Baltimore area High's Dairy Store locations. Plus, you can read the entire issue online at PressBoxOnline.com, where you can also find great betting advice and the best daily coverage of the Orioles, Ravens, and Terps.
Get ready to hit the ultimate holiday jackpot at Live Casino during the live action $1 million giveaway. Every Friday through December 26th, we'll draw 25 lucky cash winners, but only one winner each Friday will advance to the final rounds on December 26th, where you could win $1 million in just 3 spins. Come make your million, only at Live Casino. At Erndale Mills, must be 21. Please play responsibly. For help, visit mdgamblinghelp.org or call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Feeling sluggish, unfocused, or not like yourself? It could be low testosterone. At Game Day Men's Health, we specialize in testosterone replacement therapy to help men boost energy, improve mood, and regain confidence. Our treatments, including testosterone cypionate, are safe, natural, and tailored to fit your lifestyle with weekly injections or pellet therapy. Get started today with a free testosterone test and feel the difference. GameDayMen'sHealth.com. Game Day Men's Health, where men reclaim their game.
Contrary to what some people believe, I actually like this guy when he sleeps. Glenn Clark, talking sports.
All right, back in here on GCR. Griffin informs me, and I apparently missed this yesterday, that Brian Wacker had reported that Rashad Bateman is not expected to play on Sunday, which would make it seem like he's probably not going to practice then today. So, we'll see. We'll see. Brian, of course, was kind of ahead of the game on the Lamar Jackson situation the last time, despite the fact that some folks nationally seemed to try to belittle that, which was very silly. But file that away. Brian Wacker reported that Rashad Bateman not expected to play Sunday against Cleveland. All right, let's get into some baseball conversation here. Griffin really wants me to show you that Trevor Rogers got a vote.
I didn't want to.
What's the first thing you have up there? It's the first thing you have
well,
up
it's
on
like
the screen.
buried in between all my Elias tweets.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Trevor Rogers got 1 vote from Rock Kabatko.
if you want to share it, yeah,
we already started. It's right there. Got 1 vote from Rock Kabatko for AL Cy Young, which he was never going to win, but a little surprising it was only 1. I get it. Didn't pitch a ton, but pitched enough and was good enough that I'm a bit surprised it was only 1. Derrick Mason, of course, the easy winner, as he and Garrett Crochet split all of the first and second place votes, with him getting the bulk.
Who did your vote go to?
Believe it or not, did not
What?
get a Cy Young vote this year. Believe it or not. I think the only things I'm voting for anymore, because I kind of took myself out of Ravens MVP voting. I'm pretty sure they still message me every year. I just don't choose to participate because I don't actively cover the team anymore. And then I do still vote for the PFWA awards because they want you to participate in that. I am a member of the Pro Football Writers Association of America, which is kind of funny because I just said I don't actively cover the Ravens anymore. But they still want me to be involved. They still want the support and all that. So I do.
Well, and you're Mr. NFL.
I am Mr. NFL. That's what people say about me, Mr. NFL. It is hilarious when they send you a ballot for like the all-rookie team, and it's got like who's the all-rookie special teamer, and you're just like, well, now this year that'll be easy, right?
Jackson, yeah.
But like in the past, you're just like, I couldn't name one with my life on the line.
Who's on the Patriots?
Like my life on the line. So it's either I just leave them blank is what I do. Like there's a part of you that's like, do you look up and see if there's some? Nope. I'd be a fraud. I'm not doing that. I just
you could look
leave
into it
blank.
Yeah.
That's the way that it goes. So yeah, congratulations to Derrick Mason and Paul Skeens, who of course, as expected, won the Cy Young Awards last night. Now, out in Las Vegas, Major League Baseball GMs getting together this week, which Griffin definitely knew the entire time was not the MLB winter meetings. He definitely didn't put that in the rundown for today's show.
No, I didn't.
He knew it was the GM meetings. And we learned a little bit. Unfortunately, we don't seem to have audio or video, but we did learn a little bit. Scott Boras did another silly press conference. This is the problem with
silly.
It was extraordinarily silly, but that's what Scott Boras
insightful.
Does. That's what he does. From Andy Koska of the Baltimore Sun. Or no, Koska's the Banner?
Yes.
Yeah, the Banner, right?
Yes, Banner.
Andy Koska, quoting Scott Boras, who was asked about the Orioles' approach this winter, said, quote, "They're going to be one of the more active clubs in free agency for sure," unquote. All right, then. Sounds great. Let's do it. Rock and roll. Now, as was pointed out by our buddy Spencer Schultz, didn't he say some of those things in the past? And, yeah, he's not the exact same, but he has said, because this is the problem with taking anything that Scott Boras says seriously, is Scott Boras is there to do a job. It's to tell awful puns. Scott Boras,
I'm disappointed you didn't like my incredibly insightful Scott Boras.
He's going to do a lot of we're just doing alliteration. That's what we're doing.
We're talking about Scott Boras.
He did a very silly bit about Pete Alonso yesterday.
That one I do have. We can play that.
Sure. This is who Scott Boras is. He's a kind of he's a court jester. But what he's really doing is saying everybody's going to spend money and everybody should spend money and all of my clients are great and everybody's great, and because he's an agent. Imagine if somebody said, "Well, what do you think about the Rockies?" And he was just like, "You know what the Rockies should definitely do is not spend any money. They're not going anywhere."
He's gonna say, I know Chris Bryant hasn't touched a baseball bat in about 3 years.
Yeah, but
they should probably extend him.
Like, it's the issue with this. It's not me criticizing anyone who quotes Scott Boras or not me criticizing the people that attend his press conference. I get it. He's a significant baseball figure. It's just that you know what you're getting in Scott Boras. Scott Boras has a job to do. Try to get more money for his guys. That's it. Every time he talks, he has one thought process in mind: making more money for his clients. And so is it possible that he's telling the truth? That, like, based on early conversations with the Orioles, he has reason to believe they're going to be more aggressive? Yeah, it's possible. Of course it is. But if it wasn't, he isn't going to say that. If the Orioles aren't, or are telling him very directly, we're not swimming in those waters, he's not going to say that. Because he's speaking to everybody. Hey, are you the San Diego Padres interested in a Scott Boras client? Well, you better be careful. The Orioles, they're looking to spend big this offseason. So you're going to need to spend bigger. So it's the tough part about taking anything from Scott Boras ever. He has one job. His job, make more money. Everybody's spending money. Money. Shane McMahon, right? Dollar. Ching, ching, bling, bling. He's going to jump off the Titantron. The whole deal. That's Scott Boras' thing. Mike Elias also spoke to Orioles reporters and apparently some national reporters as well. This from Andy Koska again, said the Orioles will, quote, will be, quote, behaving as buyers, unquote, this winter. And listing out some of the things they're looking to do: frontline starting pitching, closer or late inning reliever. And remember, he told me last week specifically closer, experienced closer. Veteran bat, possibly to fit into the outfield. Right, so the things that we think the Orioles should be doing. Yes. Now, he acknowledged that could be via free agency or via trade. As far as, and we played the quote last week from Mike Elias about what do we make of them having no financial constraints. Here's a different one. This is
specifically about the outfield.
The Orioles will be part of the center field market. Colton Cowles remains an option. But this is, again, exactly what he and I talked about with center field last week. Which it was noteworthy to me that he didn't just say, no, we've got our center fielder on the roster. But it also doesn't mean that they're, if they don't like the market for center fielders, they're going to tell you, we think we've got some options and guys who can play. The payroll one is the one I wanted. That's the one. Mike Elias on the Orioles payroll, according to Andy Koska, again. There's a target zone we ID as a sweet spot of what's healthy for the ownership group, the organization. And then as soon as you read that, you say, bleh. But then he follows up by saying, but what I can say is it's by no means tethered to the profits of the team. We're trying to win. This ownership group is willing to dip into the red considerably to do that. In the short term, we recognize we've got a core that could use some competition and wants to win and bounce back. Again, sounds encouraging. It sounds like they recognize they didn't do enough. That Tyler O'Neill, Gary Sanchez, Charlie Morton was not a viable offseason for going from good to championship contending. But they still have to prove it. And the skepticism that Orioles fans feel is warranted. I get it. I'm not telling you that you're wrong to be skeptical. They've earned that. They have to show that they're going to make difference-making types of acquisitions and not just guys. And maybe they will. And maybe Tyler O'Neill will bounce back and play baseball this season. And all those things could happen. It's plausible. But I understand the reason why you feel the way you feel. And I'm not going to tell you that you shouldn't feel that way. I'm not going to judge it until, it happens. I didn't really even judge it was a Saturday last year. I want to say an early December Saturday when they did the O'Neill and Sanchez deals. And I remembered like a feeling of, okay, I mean, I don't think Tyler O'Neill's as good as Anthony Santander, but, like, this is the start of an off season. Like, if these are the first two moves you're making, I believe it was the first day of the winter meetings, actually, last year that they made those moves. If this is the start of what you're doing, and there's a couple more real moves coming, like, this isn't bad. But I absolutely remember having this conversation with Stan because we were talking about it. I'm like, what I worry about is that they think this is the off season. Like, okay, we had our offseason. And if that's the case, then it's a massive problem. And obviously, it proved to be a massive problem. I'm willing to judge it as it unfolds. I'm willing to let them do what they will or will not do this offseason and then judge it then. And even then, there's still room for the idea that the team could be good anyway. Like, there could be significant bounce back from Colton Cowser. I don't even know if bounce back is what you call it anymore because we just have so little.
Adley has room to
bounce back would be the way to describe Adley. And still a little bit Gunnar. Like, I know Gunnar was still good last year, but.
And then just Westbrook staying healthy. Like,
yes, Westbrook staying healthy. Cowser has to be a baseball player. And I'm not making any plans revolving around Colton Cowser. He can be part of it, but this goes back to whenever, like, I think Stan was in here last Friday and was talking about the idea of adding, like, imagine if you had a Michael King and then he put in Dean
all
Kramer.
The Suarez's.
I just keep saying this. To me, and Dean Kramer is far more accomplished than Colton Cowser is, but I never go in.
Dean Kramer finished top 3 in the rookie of the year voting.
Thank you. I never go into a season saying, and like Dean Kramer to me is that guy that, like, if it works out that he's in your rotation, all good, but I'm not making decisions based on, well, you got to have a spot for Dean Kramer. I eternally want to believe that you can do better, and it's with no disrespect to what he's been, because he has been a constant. Like, I'm trying to come up with the right word.
I know, it's funny because I was about to say the complete opposite. I was going to say inconsistent. But
inconsistent. That's why I didn't say.
Yeah,
like he's not
neither
consistent.
Of those work.
He's constant in that he's there, right?
Yeah.
Like, he pitches. And that matters. Like, it's relevant that he gives you innings and he pitches every 5th day, and there are times when he's really good. But the total package is not one that I have to hold a spot for. You know he can give you innings, but if you had 5 that are better, then I'd like to have 5 that are better and have him be a swing starter who's available to you. It's my reality when it comes to Dean Kramer. But I get it. They're almost certainly not going to have 5 starters that are better than Dean Kramer. But there's a big difference to me for a team where Dean Kramer is your 3rd starter and Dean Kramer is your 5th starter. Dean Kramer is, as your 5th starter, you're feeling great. Dean Kramer as your 3rd starter, yeah, as dicey.
What about as your top line, your ace number 1 starter?
That's a real problem.
Yeah.
That's a real problem. So there's some of what was said by Mike Elias yesterday. Oh, hang on a second. What else did you want me to share?
I mean, you talked about Grayson Rodriguez. But.
Grayson Rodriguez, according to Jake Rill of MLB.com, planning around that is something we've got to hedge against, but it would be awesome to have him show up and pitch for us the way that he's capable of, and I think there's a really good chance that happens. That's the appropriate way of saying. That's where Dean Kramer becomes sort of like more of a swing guy. Grayson Rodriguez is the guy that you can't plan on. You can't make any of your decisions based around and Grayson Rodriguez. You've got to put together a rotation that doesn't factor Grayson Rodriguez. And then if Grayson Rodriguez comes in and pitches and Dean Kramer is the odd man out, that's a good thing for everybody but Dean Kramer. I get it's not good for him, but it's a good thing for a baseball team. If you go out and get Michael King this offseason, and I'm trying to think of who a cheaper free agent
pitcher.
Yeah, like somebody that was in that, the Sean Manaea, obviously Sean Manaea is a real starter. I mean, who's someone in that like 2-year, $40 million range of a starting pitcher this year? It's 40.
Eflin.
Yeah, you're probably right. God, I don't think it's going to be Zach Eflin.
But I'm trying to find more pitchers that are available. Hold on. Merrill Kelly, but that's like he's just older. He's 37. Fetty, we talked about him with Drew yesterday.
So funny.
Miles Michaelos, Nestor Cortez.
Okay, let's just say it's Nestor Cortez.
Lucas
right?
Giolito.
You go get Michael King. You go get Nestor Cortez. You combine that with Kyle Bradish, Trevor Rogers. And
anything with Michael King sounds pretty good.
Yeah, obviously, right? And And then you say, well, and hopefully it's Grayson Rodriguez. And if it's not Grayson Rodriguez, then we have Dean Kramer. But if it can be Grayson Rodriguez, then it's Grayson Rodriguez. And I get that Tyler Wells is sort of the wild card here because they seem insistent on Tyler Wells being a starter. But again, I pray that they're not making plans around that. And I listened to the argument that was made by a few last year that for last year it was just about getting him as many innings as you could possibly get him in a short period of time. And don't read too much into it. It's not a guarantee that that means that they feel like he's a starter going into this year. But, I just hope that they're not making plans with Tyler Wells definitively being a starter.
There's a guy who almost assuredly will be an Oriole now because he announced his retirement two days ago. Kyle Hendricks.
I didn't realize Kyle Hendricks announced his retirement.
So he will definitely be talked out of it, of course. And I'm sure he'll pitch for the Orioles at some point this season.
All right, so there you go. That's what we learned yesterday. The MVP announcement is tonight. Also, apparently there's a whole other thing tonight called the MLB Awards that they do in Vegas, and it's on MLB Network. And I don't know what, because they already given out the awards. So I have no idea if this is like
this going to be like
player voted or like somebody else voted on this, and I don't know what this is, but that's tonight as well. All right, we're going to make some picks. Today's show is brought to you by Live Casino and Hotel Maryland, the best place to watch UFC 322 this Saturday night. Makachev and
I told you, just call him by his nickname. Call him by his initials.
Dell Computers.
Basically, yeah.
Dell PC.
Do you remember the initials? Just call him by the initials.
JDM.
Boom.
Della Maga.
No, he's not MAGA. He's from Australia.
You sure he's not MAGA?
I mean, I guess
it's the UFC we're talking about.
I mean, he's from Australia, so I don't think he cares all too much.
Remind me.
Jack Della Maddalena.
There you go. Jack Della Maddalena taking on Makachev. The best place to watch the fights is Inside Sports and Social because you could pay $1 billion to watch the fights. Although I guess once they move to CBS, they're not supposed to be $1 billion anymore.
I'm very curious
right?
to see how it works. Like allegedly it should just be if you have a Paramount Plus subscription,
you can watch the pay-per-views. We'll see if that's the case. But still, right now, they still cost you a boatload of money. Don't spend it. Save it. Spend it on great food, awesome drink specials, maybe winning some money either at the FanDuel Sportsbook or by playing the tables at Live Casino and Hotel this Saturday night. Let's make some picks. He's back. He is our power bottom. He is Mr. Ken Zalis, and he's with us once again here on GCR. KZ, what's going on, buddy?
Not much. How's everything?
Everything's good. The problem for you is that you haven't even been bad recently. Like
I've been pretty good.
Yeah.
I'm not worried about it. I'm just going to keep on stacking winning weeks.
Yeah,
we got a long way to go.
last week. That was really good. The problem is your closest competition, John Proctor, went 8-1.
Yeah, but I'm not too worried about that because the middle to the bottom is now compressed. So
that's a fair point, right? Like for between the top three, so James Revere, I don't know what we do about James Revere. I'm starting to think that he's like AI, as James Revere is rolling towards potentially a second straight title. He's 3 games up on Griffin, 4 games up on myself. Then Andrew Steck and Jeremy Kahn 6 games back. Ryan, John and Little Rock, John Proctor all 7 games back. Kyle 8 games back. Paul and Joe are 9 games off the pace. KZ 11 games back, but only 2 games behind Paul and Joe at the bottom of the table, with everyone over 45% on the season. And, 8 of the 12 of us at 500 or better now on the year. So everybody's been hot recently. Let's see if that continues this week. As always, 3 college games, 6 NFL games. Griffin, where do we begin?
We're heading to the state capitol. We're going to Navy Marine Corps Stadium as Navy. Kickoff at noon. We'll be hosting the top 25, number 24 ranked South Florida Bulls.
And they've taken over like the favorite to be the group of 5.
Yes, yeah.
And
the
James
CFP,
Madison's
they're the highest
right
ranked.
him.
They're the highest ranked group of 5 team right now, so that's why they get slotted in as the 12 seed in the latest college football playoff rankings. And on the road, taking on Navy, they are laying 10.5 against the Mids.
Boy, I hate that, right? Like, you hate that number. sold out at Navy Marine Corps Memorial Stadium. Blake Horvath, I guess, is expected to return.
That's what I saw as well.
Bill Wagner of the Annapolis Capital says he is expected to start on Saturday, and you could kind of see that maybe that was a purposeful thought last week. I just can't do it right now. Navy's defense has been really disappointing, man. That's the part about this season that I didn't see coming based on how they played last year. I hope I'm wrong, but I'm going to ride South Florida is going to be the pick.
Yeah, I said a couple weeks ago I thought Navy was staring at a 5-game losing streak based on who the opponents were coming up and what they had done so far this year. And I can't change my mind. I haven't seen anything really from them unless they're playing poor competition. And I don't think South Florida's poor competition. So I will lay the points and take South Florida.
I I haven't felt good. I don't feel too good about it either, but I've picked Navy all season. And I've been feeling it because they've been terrible against the spread all season as well. But at this point, I feel like I can't go against them now.
They're due.
They're catching double digits at home. It's senior day. Horvath doesn't need his arm anyway. If his legs work, that's what's gonna keep him in this. So go Navy. Go Navy. We're gonna try to knock off South Florida here. And
in favor.
We are split though, 6-6 even split here.
Interesting. It's a big spread. I get it.
You both on the Bulls. Jeremy Kahn, James Revere, John in Little Rock is going against Navy, as is John Proctor as well. So 6-6 here in Navy USF. Now to Tuscaloosa, 3:30 p.m. for the kick on ABC. Alabama, number 4 ranked team in the country. Crimson Tide laying 6 points against the number 11 ranked Oklahoma Sooners.
Does it feel like this number should be bigger? I know Mateer's back for Oklahoma, but doesn't it feel like this should be a larger number, more than a touchdown?
The way we're acting, the way we're talking about Bama,
yeah,
probably.
That's the part that I'm struggling with
that
here.
They went on of.
Yeah, I don't want to be too disrespectful to Oklahoma, but you could say Alabama didn't score a ton of points last week, and that's the reason why.
That was LSU.
I don't know, man.
That was at LSU, right? No, it was in Tuscaloosa.
Yeah, I think it was at home. And they weren't. I get it. They weren't overly impressive. They still won by more than a touchdown, but I don't know. I think less than a touchdown. You have to ride with Alabama here.
Yeah, that's sort of where I am. You said something that I was thinking. It's how much disrespect are we giving Oklahoma?
Yeah.
Because they've been pretty good this year. But you look back at some of their losses and some of their close wins, and you gotta kind of think at home that it's less than a touchdown. Am I really going against Alabama when I'm only giving up 6 and they're at home with everything to play for? So I'm going to take Alabama.
Yeah.
The problem with Alabama is they have been struggling to run the football, and Oklahoma's got they're good run. They stop the run well. They also get after the passer really well. They have one of the best pass rushes in the country. So they know Bama's going to have to air it out here. So I think they can go in here and cause some issues for Ty Simpson, and John Mateer starting to look a little more like John Mateer. Is it enough to win on the road? I don't know, but I think they keep it interesting all game here. And I'm gonna go ahead and take the Sooners here.
All right, you go ahead.
You
go right ahead
for me. You guys on Alabama. Bulk of us on the Crimson Tide. It is 4 of us on the Sooners. Myself, Andrew Stecca, Jeremy Kahn, and James Revere on Oklahoma going against Alabama at home. Saturday night, also on ABC, Georgia. Literally the exact same kind of type of game here. You got 2 teams, top 10, top 11, and the home team laying 6 points. Georgia, ranked number 5 right now, laying 6, hosting at number 10 ranked Texas and the Longhorns.
It's still like this. I feel like I needed one of these numbers to be over a touchdown. I just needed that in order to go the other way. Less than a touchdown, and I get it. I might end up regretting that, but less than a touchdown, I feel like I have the exact same feeling here. Texas obviously has been better, but give me Georgia.
Texas has been better, but better doesn't mean they've been overly impressive. outside of maybe one game. And I the same thing. Like, I wish one of these games was 7.5 or something like that. It would sway me. But Georgia at home, Texas, I don't feel great about him. I still, Manning's been better, but I don't like. He hasn't lived up to the hype at all. More so on the ground than anything. So I'm going to take Georgia.
First ever trip to Athens for Texas, and yeah, as you guys said, they look good. They look much better. And
we're basing that kind of off one result. We're basing that essentially.
Well,
off
I mean,
the
they're
fact
just winning. Yeah, I mean,
well, but like two of them were like overtime games against Kentucky and Mississippi State.
I know, but I think Arch's
Mississippi State's good.
No, they're not. What are you talking about?
I try.
Anyway, they're catching the Bulldogs at the wrong time. Georgia finally proved they can actually play as front runners as they dismantled Mississippi State last week, and that's the Georgia I'm used to. And I went against them. I don't know. They haven't been very good against the spread this year, but I'm gonna go ahead and go back to them because Sarkisian 2-6 against the spread in SEC road games. He's 0-4 on the road this season against the spread. I'm gonna go ahead and say that continues here. So I will lay the points with Georgia in this one. 4 backers, once again, of the underdog. Jeremy Kahn on Texas, as is Kyle Ottenheimer, Paul Valley, and Ryan Shell, the producers, on the Longhorns.
Believe they're at the bottom of the table.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean I am with Ken on all 3 of these, and I don't
You
love
are.
that.
You are.
Don't love that.
To the NFL, the pros. We're not doing tonight's game, unfortunately. It's going to be good. Should be a great one, though, obviously, as the Jets look to make it 2 in a row. Tampa Bay is going to Buffalo, however, on Sunday, 1 p.m. kick on CBS. And the Buffalo Bills, both teams coming off losses here, laying 5.5 against the Bucs.
This might be my toughest one of the week, honestly, because I want to like the Bills to bounce back. Because it feels like there can be no greater wake-up call than losing to the Dolphins. Like, that's got to be a shock to the system. At the same time, I don't really know what I love about the Bills, other than
Josh Allen, I guess.
Like, in big games, or games that people care about, they tend to show up and score points. I think 5.5 is enough for me to bite on the Buccaneers in this one. Like, I do. Maybe I'll regret that, but give me the Buccaneers to cover.
So, yeah, I agree. Toughest game of the week to pick, and I'm trying to not have recency bias because the Bills just look god-awful. And we saw how bad Miami is and was up close and personal with the Ravens game. And the Bills aren't that bad, and the Bucs are still a little bit banged up. They're going in, it's less than 6 points. Do they win by a touchdown? I'm going to take the Bills to bounce back.
All right. I am relieved that we didn't agree on everything. That is good news for me.
I was going to start with that, but then that would have given my pick away too quickly.
I'm inclined to agree with you guys as well. This has to be a good spot for Buffalo here, heading home, a get-right spot after getting beaten pretty bad by the Dolphins. But the thing is, that wasn't entirely all too fluky because their rush defense is terrible. They cannot stop the run. The Bills can't. And the Bucs are maybe getting Bucky Irving back. Apparently he's back at practice again today. And even if he's not, Sean Tucker, Syracuse grad, heading back to upstate New York here, I'm going to go with the Bucs.
He's been god-awful.
He's not, but yeah,
he
but
wasn't
he's not,
last week.
He's heading back. He's heading back to New York. I'm going to take the Bucs here as well. I mean, it feels I don't love going against Buffalo, but especially at home. But I'm going to go ahead and take Tampa Bay getting 5.5 alongside Glenn, Jeremy Kahn, and Ryan Shell. We are the 4 on Tampa Bay.
All right.
Also on the 1 o'clock.
I don't know how I feel about that group. I'm torn.
Kind of a mixed bag.
Yeah, right.
Shell's been better.
Yeah, like
I've been one of the best.
Yeah,
all
you've been
season.
near the top. You're right. That's a good point.
Cincinnati heading to Pittsburgh as Joe Flacco looks to try and sweep the Steelers here with the Bengals, and not favored to do so. Steelers laying 5.5.
I don't understand this line at all. I don't get this line.
A couple 5.5 lines.
And because I don't get it, I have no freaking choice but to take the Steelers. This line sucks. This is insanity.
Hey, this line has feelings.
But this is the dumb. Have you seen a dumber line? Why would the Steelers be 5.5 point favorites over anyone? If the Steelers were playing the Jets this week, do you think they should be 5.5-point favorites in that game?
Nah, probably like 7.5.
Why?
Because the Jets completed 5
Have
passes.
you seen the Steelers?
The Jets completed 5 passes and won a game.
Are you sure that the Steelers completed more than 5 passes last week?
I don't know. Sure? I enjoyed watching Aaron Rodgers play last week.
I don't get it. And because I don't get it, this is the most perplexing line of the week. And because of that, I have no choice but to take the Steelers, and I hate that. Steelers.
It's a divisional game that's more than a 3.5-point spread against the two teams that can't stop anybody. I'm going to take the Bengals here.
I get it.
By
the way, Ken, if the number was 3.5, I'd be taking the Bengals.
Yeah.
The line is so screwy that it says to me they have to know something.
I agree with you, but I don't see anything really on the injury report that leads me to believe that the Bengals still will not put up points.
I get it.
And that's been the bugaboo for the Steelers, is putting up points. So I'm going to take the Bengals.
Pitt and Notre Dame can be playing at Acrisure on Saturday for game day.
So
they're going to tear this field to shreds. That field's going to be awful.
Did you hear Pat Narduzzi this week?
What did he say?
So in his press conference, they said, "Coach, do you feel like this is a must-win game on Saturday?" God, you should find this clip. It's amazing. And he said, "No, I don't care. I just want to win the ACC." And he doubled down on it. Essentially said, if we lose by 100, I don't give a rat's ass. And I get his point, but brother, you're about to play the most massive game your program has played in years. You're hosting College Game Day, which is a joke. Let's be honest about that. That appears to be their obsession with Pat McAfee.
I don't think they didn't want to go back. They already went to Alabama. They already went to Georgia.
They've gone to those places twice in the same year.
I know,
before.
but
they've had no problem doing that.
Twice in the span of 6 weeks.
Yes, there's 2 dramatically better games, and yet they're going to Pitt Notre Dame, which again feels like there's a Pat McAfee factor to it, which is stupid. And this is Pat Narduzzi selling the fan base on get out to the game on Saturday.
McAfee hates Pitt. He's a
he's a West Virginia, but he's from Pittsburgh, and so that's the point. Go ahead. This is Pat.
Do you feel like this is a must-win for this team when it comes to something?
Absolutely not. It is not an ACC game. I'm glad you brought that up. It's not an ACC game. I gladly get beat 103 or 110 to 10 in that game. They can put 100 up on us as long as we win the next 2 after that. But again, our focus is on Notre Dame.
So we can go back.
Get as many wins as
you can get out of that. Everything about this is hilarious because there's a point there, obviously. But it's a point that dopes like me can make for him. And instead he could just say, yeah, all our focus is just on Notre Dame. That's the next opponent on the schedule. That's the game we want to win. But he doubles down and says, we can lose by 100.
I don't know if they can.
And I'll be cool. We'll lose by 100.
Because somebody made the point, if they were to lose by 100.
Ken's trying to talk and we're not hearing him for some reason.
My bad, Ken. Sorry.
Go ahead,
I muted the
I said based on that press conference, I hope he loses by 100.
Right. You don't need to say that out loud.
But why, as a head coach, why would I put that in my
100%.
players' brains? That's an idiotic statement.
You're playing the game. You want to try to win the game. That's the only thing you need to say. And again, then it's almost like he realizes, something fires in his brain, oh. And then he says, and so, all our focus is on Notre Dame. And you're like, dude, you just said you were okay with losing by 100.
So if they were to lose by 100, but win the ACC, let's say they're unranked or something, and still ACC champions, but then JMU wins the Sun Belt,
we
USF
already
wins
saw this. Boise State last year was ranked ahead of the ACC champion.
Right, I know.
So
so if we get the Sun Belt champion and the American champion to be ranked ahead, then no ACC champion.
Yeah,
I don't think you're allowed to do that.
I think you are.
I think they made sure that
are they? I think the Big Five have to go.
The power conferences have to have
the Big Five champion has to go.
I'm picking the Steelers. Field's gonna be ugly. Not good for Jamar Chase and T. Higgins getting up and down the field here.
No, you're right. It is. They didn't change that.
Okay. So I'm hoping.
But let's be clear. They would. Let's just. With due respect.
But would they put Pitt in, or if Miami's still ranked 20th, or I guess if Miami wins out, but not
Miami's not
ACC title,
so let's play that
appearance.
All right, Go ahead. You're taking the Steelers.
I hope my trend of picking the Steelers games wrong continues, but I'm taking the Steelers here. We are in the minority, though. It's a 7-5 split.
Because it's I understand.
Jeremy Kahn on Pittsburgh with us, Andrew Stecca, and John and Little Rock on the Steelers.
Dumbest line I've ever seen. The Steelers being favored. If the Steelers played Pitt this week, I don't think they should be favored by 5.5 points.
This is the hardest game to pick this week. NFC West showdown. Seattle going to SoFi, taking on the Rams, and the Rams laying 3.
I actually don't think this is all that difficult.
It is.
I like the Seahawks, but the Rams to me are a far more complete team, and it's only 3 points. The Rams.
Yeah, I agree with you. I didn't think this was. I didn't give this a half a second. It's the Rams are playing well, and they may be the best team in football. I don't know, but they're really complete. I agree with that.
Now, if you're saying because they're wearing these awful uniforms, then now you're onto something.
Oh, I didn't see what they were wearing.
This is stupid. This is dumb as
it's midnight mode.
What is that? Why?
Rams.
I don't hate them.
Rams obviously playing great. Matt Stafford looks like an MVP. They're definitely not. They're definitely.
Why is the shoulder pad not the same color as the uniform?
I don't have the answer to that question.
That's the only thing I don't like. I like the helmet.
It's definitely.
I don't mind that.
I don't mind it either. It's definitely not those horrible Chargers and Steelers uniforms.
Yeah, they're not. They're not certainly not the worst uniforms.
I don't mind those.
And let's be fair, the Rams don't have like classically great. The problem with the Chargers is
they have that.
You have one of the 3 best uniforms in football history. Ever. Why would you ever wear anything else? But they chose not just to wear something else. They wore a piss uniform, like a uniform that openly looked like urine. The Steelers choose to wear urine all the time. It's part of what they do, and they
somehow
pretend,
made it even uriner.
They pretend like, oh yeah, but it's gold. No, it ain't, Chief. We all watch. It ain't gold. It's yellow. Every time. Anyway, go ahead.
This is hard to pick because the Rams are playing really well, but Mike McDonald does not lose road games, and he's getting points here. So I'm going to take Seattle going into SoFi here, and potentially knocking off the Rams here and taking control of the NFC West. Right. So give me Seattle. It's a 7-5 split. Myself, the 5 of us on Seattle. Myself, Jeremy, John and Little Rock, John Proctor, and Paul Valley on the Seahawks.
All right.
Is this game of the? Well, I guess Fox has game of the week, whatever. But CBS at 4:25, Kansas City at Denver.
No, this is the big national TV.
Kansas City going into Denver and laying 3.5.
Maybe the easiest pick of the week for me. Kansas City, 1,000% on this one. The Broncos are frauds, and you can get away with being frauds against the New York Football Giants, and you can get away with it in a lot of spots. And I know that they got away with it earlier this year against the Eagles. I am understanding that they were able to do that. But a Kansas City team that got humbled and is coming off of a bye, not a chance. Kansas City, 1,000%.
So I hate that I'm going to pick against Kansas City.
Why would you do that?
Why? Because I got to make up some rules. And I think the masses are taking Kansas City here.
You're probably right about that.
You got to pick your spot every once in a while. I also think that this is a make or break week for the Broncos. Like, this could go south really quick for them. I still think a loss by Kansas City, even though they're on the outside looking in technically of the playoffs right now, that they'll be fine and they'll get into the playoffs somehow. I'm going to take the Broncos. I'm getting points. They're at home. Tough place to play sometimes. Decent defense. I like Bo Nix.
Why do you like Bo Nix?
Because did you score 10 points against Raiders?
That's a great point. I didn't score 10
points. You know why I like
him?
him? Because I didn't start him last week, and I started Mariota.
You're so smart.
Very smart.
Are you starting him this week?
I don't think so.
Yeah. You know better.
Go.
I have options.
KC not good on the road. 1-3 this season. Their lone road win this season against the Giants and Russell Wilson. So I don't know. Denver, they've won 10 straight home games.
Mm-hmm.
But
go ahead.
J.K. Dobbins probably isn't going for Denver. Kansas
That's
City.
That's a good thing, by the way.
Is it a good thing? I don't know. Kansas City.
Yeah, because you get speed into the lineup with R.J. Harvey.
Yeah, but J.K. Dobbins has been good for them this year. Kansas City's 22-4 off of the bye week under Andy Reid. 6-1 in the regular season with Mahomes. I'm gonna go ahead and lay this, and I guess the masses are in fact on Denver because Jeremy Kahn joins us on Kansas City.
That's weird
as well. I believe the bulk of us on the Chiefs though in our group. Joe Serpico on Denver, John Proctor, KZ, and Ryan Shell on the Broncos, getting points at home. Sunday Night Football. The Detroit Lions going to Philadelphia and taking on the defending champion Eagles. Eagles laying 2.5 on Sunday night against the Lions.
This was a tough one too, to be fair.
Yeah, there's some good games this week.
Because it's only 2.5, I'm gonna pick the Eagles. Like I get that we're all gonna write them off because they look like doo-doo on Monday, and AJ Brown. But like they seem to thrive in chaos to me. Like they really the more chaos the better. Last year Nick Sirianni was fighting with his own fans after he won a football game. I just think they do. This is the Psycho X, man. Like, they live in chaos. And so give me the Eagles.
Dome team going into a
cold
night game, cold, windy. It's supposed to be very windy on the East Coast this weekend. You know that I love the Detroit Lions, but I do not like them here. You know, the Philadelphia, I agree with you. They do live in chaos. But they also know that they put up a stinker offensively, and they're going to try to do a little bit more damage this week. It's not enough for me to sway. So who's going to win the game? It's going to be Philly.
This is a tough one too. It's a great matchup. Lions, interestingly, the only team with the Eagles on their schedule this season to not veto the touch push at the owners' meetings earlier this year. I think it's going to give them a little bit of good luck, maybe. And since I can't really lean one way or the other,
maybe
otherwise,
a karma pick. That's what you're doing.
I'm gonna go ahead and take the Lions here, getting points on the road. Even though I don't love it. It's a
secondary
it's an
pick.
team here.
Will officials actually call one of the Eagles' tush pushes offsides when they're all going to be offsides?
No, because
you're right.
The officials want it banned, and the more that they don't know how to call it or intentionally
then it makes
don't
it
call
easier
it.
to ban it. Yep. 100%.
I should probably pick the Eagles.
Just pick the game, Griffin.
I already said Detroit.
I know, I did. And I wrote
We
down
got to
Detroit.
go.
Where do we have to go?
We got to go. Got a guest coming up, the whole thing.
I'll stick with the Lions.
Lions. Next.
James is on the Eagles. Joe's on the Eagles. And so is KZ. So 4 of you on Philly.
That's it?
Yeah.
That's it?
It's kind
really?
of stunning.
8 of us on the Lions, including
really
apparently the public is on the Eagles as well because Jeremy Kahn's on the Lions.
All right.
Baltimore at Cleveland. Ravens laying 7.5, going on the road. 4:25 this is a 4:25 game?
Yeah, it's a 4:25 game.
I think I actually won.
It's stupid because the Ravens don't ever win in Cleveland. So why would you ever pick them to win by 7.5? But I just can't. I cannot watch the Dylan Gabriel video from last week and believe that he is capable of. For what it's worth, last year it was Jameis Winston who beat him. The year before that, it was a Deshaun Watson who was starting to turn, like was starting to look like he could play football.
You mean
again.
NFL quarterbacks?
Yes. This is Dylan Gabriel. I can't do it. Ravens.
I can. They don't win in Cleveland. They don't play well in Cleveland.
I know.
They seem to forget that, like, literally you have to block one human being and you're okay. And they just
But the Browns are getting their asses kicked in games where Myles Garrett has 5 sacks this year.
I agree with you, but divisional game, what's it, 9.5?
7.5.
7.5? I can't do it. Plus, I'm on a roll. The more I pick against the Ravens, they haven't lost yet. So
all right.
I'm keeping that up, and I am going to take the Browns.
There you go.
I'm going to choose to believe our head coach, Lamar Jackson, will in fact play. So I'll go ahead and say they win by more than a touchdown here.
Really, you got through all that? You're convinced?
No, I'm not. I'm not convinced at all, actually. But I'm still gonna think.
This is only about Dylan Gabriel. Everything else about this game terrifies me, but the guy playing quarterback does not.
The guy playing quarterback, the Ravens, helps me. He better play. I'm going to take.
I think I might take Tyler Huntley to cover 7.5 against Dylan Gabriel.
I don't
as
know.
well.
I think it would. It's
I
going to be an
understand.
ugly game.
I understand.
If Tyler Huntley starts, they're not winning by 14.
Just.
On the Browns, Jeremy Kahn is on Cleveland, as is John in Little Rock, KZ, and so is Ryan Shell on the Brownies.
All right, very good. Ken, you, of course, know because you listen every day, obviously. What else would you be doing with your time that I will not be hosting Project Game Day this Sunday because I will be in Cleveland with my kiddos, surprising them and taking them on a trip. So I'm going to let Andrew Stetka run the show this week. You guys be nice, all right? Be nice. Everybody get along.
Why would we not be nice to Andrew? We're always nice to
I don't
Andrew.
know. That's true. I think you guys actually do like Andrew. I think that is.
We do.
Yeah.
I think Andrew and I get along swimmingly.
Yeah, I think that's the case.
Maybe he has a different view. I like Andrew.
This might be the best game day ever, actually.
Yeah, right. Project Game Day this Sunday, immediately following Ravens-Browns hangout with Stetka, KZ, Rita, Griffin, and former Ravens linebacker Tyus Bowser. PressBoxOnline.com/gameday. It's all brought to you by Game Day Men's Health, 1-800-GAMBLER, HelpMyGamblingProblem.org, and the Costas Inn. Buddy, enjoy. We will talk to you again next Thursday. Thank you as always.
Enjoy beautiful Cleveland.
Yes, that is a nice, sexy trip to be taken. See you, buddy.
Take care, guys.
If it was somewhere nice, I wouldn't be able to get in for $2. That's the problem. All right, we'll come back in. Derrick Mason's going to join us. We're going to talk to him about Mark Andrews being on the cusp of breaking his franchise receiving yards record. Also, we're going to get a tidbit. We're going to get tubular. That's on the way here on GCR.
Get ready to hit the ultimate holiday jackpot at Live Casino during the live-action $1 million giveaway. Every Friday through December 26th, we'll draw 25 lucky cash winners. But only one winner each Friday will advance to the final rounds on December 26th, where you could win $1 million in just 3 spins. Come make your million, only at Live Casino. At Erndale Mills, must be 21. Please play responsibly. For help, visit mdgamblinghelp.org or call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Feeling sluggish, unfocused, or not like yourself? It could be low testosterone. At Game Day Men's Health, we specialize in testosterone replacement therapy to help men boost energy, improve mood, and regain confidence. Our treatments, including testosterone cypionate, are safe, natural, and tailored to fit your lifestyle with weekly injections or pellet therapy. Get started today with a free testosterone test and feel the difference. GameDayMen'sHealth.com. Game Day Men's Health, where men reclaim their game.
The weather's getting cooler, so when you and your family are picking out a place to dine, be it lunch or dinner, let's make it nice and easy. Now, with 2 great locations, the Costas Inn remains your #1 destination. Whether you want to get steamed crabs and the full Costas menu out at the original location at 4100 North Point Boulevard, or sample the complete menu minus the steamed crabs at the new location above the grandstand at the Timonium Racetrack, Costas is your place to go. Check out the website, CostasInn.com, for a look at the menu, and if you want to plan that crab feast, call 410-477-1975. The Costas Inn.
Gambling can be a fun and entertaining experience, but there are risks involved. If you're planning on betting on the game at the casino or on your phone or computer, know your limit, stay within it. Set a budget and a time to stop. Remember, gambling isn't a financial solution, and it doesn't mix well with alcohol or drugs. Know the risks and have a plan before you begin gambling. For free and confidential services, call 1-800-GAMBLER 24/7 or go to helpmygamblingproblem.org.
Looking for Baltimore's premier waterfront dining experience? Head to Nick's Fish House, located in the Baltimore Peninsula. Enjoy crabs all year long, plus happy hour Monday through Thursday from 3 to 6. Planning a celebration? From rehearsal dinners to corporate crab feasts, Nick's is the spot to make it unforgettable. And the fun doesn't stop there. Live music fills the air every Thursday through Sunday. Check out the full lineup at nicksfishhouse.com. Nick's, it's where Baltimore comes to eat, drink, and play by the water.
Make the most out of every day in your Toyota RAV4. Available in hybrid or gas-only models. A RAV4 can get you where you want to go in style. Check out buyatoyota.com for deals on new RAV4s from your local Toyota dealer today.
Coming back in here with Glenn and the other guy, Garrett, whatever his name is. You know who they are.
Bummer last night, Maryland soccer losing to UCLA 2-0 in the Big Ten semifinals. Are you on team get the undefeated thing out of the way before the NCAA tournament starts? Because that is an opinion held by...
I mean, now I am, yes. But I would have been in favor of a win, for sure.
A lot of people feel that, like, you don't want to be unbeaten going into the NCAA tournament. Like, you want to lose one. It's both a little bit of a wake-up call. They had a lot of chances.
They're in a good position.
Squandered them.
Yeah, I know, yeah. Like, they're in a good position.
They're fine, right?
Yeah.
Like, they have nothing to worry about. But it's just that, like, does that thing, that unbeaten thing, weigh on you at all? And the weight of that, is it good to just have that burden gone going into the NCAA tournament? We'll maybe find out in the next couple of weeks. But, Maryland's not going to play for a Big Ten championship on Saturday, as they lose last night in the semifinals. Now they await the selection show, and they will obviously be in the NCAA tournament and will be a top seed. All right, let's get a tidbit. Tidbit is brought to you today by, this one's going to be brought to you by the print issue of Press Box, which has Maryland Athletic Director Jim Smith on the cover. Great story from Don Marcus. You can get this at your neighborhood High's Dairy Store. You can also go to PressBoxOnline.com/find and see other locations where it is available around town. You can read it all. PressBoxOnline.com. Print issue, as always, is free. So go pick up yours today.
Hannah Hidalgo and Notre Dame took on Akron yesterday. And
massive game.
Poor Akron, yes, because Hidalgo dropped 40 points. She also had 16 steals, which is the NBA, WNBA, NCAA record. 16 steals.
Well, it's not the NBA record.
Who had the most?
I'm saying it doesn't count as the NBA record.
Well, I mean, I know.
I know it's more than what the NBA record is, but it's not the NBA record.
It's more than anyone's had in WNBA, NBA history, or NCAA history.
Yeah.
So 16 steals from Hannah Hidalgo. And do you know who has the most steals in NBA history or in a game?
I don't. John Stockton, maybe.
No. Two guys had 11.
Two guys had 11. How about...
Yeah, these might just be random, so this might not be a great question.
I was going to say Michael Jordan.
No.
All right.
1999 New Jersey Net.
1999 New Jersey Net. Jason Kidd.
No.
Richard Jefferson.
Kendall Gill.
We would have been here for a while.
Also, 1976 San Antonio Spur.
George Gervin.
No. Larry Keenan.
Okay.
Two
would
guys
not have gotten either one of those.
Several guys have done it. Have had 10. The most recent was 2021 Indiana Pacer.
Halliburton.
Still current Pacer, not Halliburton.
2021. So Siakam.
No, not Siakam.
Still a Pacer. Was there in
It's like the only healthy Pacer now.
It's like the only healthy Pacer at the moment. I don't know who's healthy for the Pacers this year, Griffin.
Well, they were just in the finals.
I understand that.
He's a guard.
He's a guard. McConnell?
Yes, T.J. McConnell had 10 steals against the Cavs. In 2018, Lou Williams had 10 steals.
Right.
And then in 2017, Draymond Green had 10 steals.
Okay.
Apparently for the Warriors.
How about that?
Yes.
By the way, I botched an NBA question bad at Trivia on Monday night. I was split. We had two sports questions. One I knocked out of the park. The NBA one I botched. Name the last 3 American-born NBA MVPs.
Oh, God. I mean, it's been since, like, 2018 or something. So was that... not logging anything. So the last 3
American-born NBA MVPs.
Joel Embiid is not American-born. He's not. I don't think he counts. I'm not saying Embiid. I'm going to go Steph, LeBron, Durant. That seems.
We had the
too
exact
easy
same 3 guesses, and we both went 1 for 3.
Really?
Who
am I missing?
Westbrook and Harden.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I'm telling you, I have blocked out Westbrook and Harden ever being NBA MVP.
I mean, yeah, like I believe it. It's like, yeah, I guess they probably were.
But like I have blocked that out in my world somehow.
Jeez. Wow. So Steph was the one then, I guess?
Yeah, Steph.
Okay. So
Steph,
Harden,
Russ, and Harden. Yep, were the 3. The baseball one was after the Yankees, what 2 American League teams have won the most World Series?
Boston. And no, not the Boston, and I'm gonna go with Detroit. Boston and Detroit.
Not Detroit. Boston, yes.
Texas.
Not Detroit. Not Texas. This one actually was pretty easy to me.
Is it Athletics?
The Athletics, yes.
So I can't even say Oakland.
Yeah, you can't say Oakland. They don't have a home. I ain't got a home.
It's dumb.
Did you have something else that you wanted to do?
I did. Tarek Skubal won consecutive Cy Youngs.
Congratulations.
He became the 1, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12th, 13th person to win back-to-back Cy Youngs.
I don't know, so we're just going to guess great pitchers. Roger Clemens.
So he would be, so he technically is the 12th. Clemens did this twice, so yes.
Okay. Maddox.
Maddox on the list.
About Randy Johnson.
I believe Randy Johnson. Yes. Wow, he won it, 4 straight years? 99 to 02.
About Kershaw.
Yes.
About Scherzer.
Yes, Scherzer.
About Verlander.
Wait, sorry, no.
Oh?
No Verlander.
About Jim Palmer.
I've
not talked about that today.
75,
Here's what I'm going to tell you about that story. If Rob Long says he's good with Jim Palmer, that's all I care. I mean, it's very weird. It's tawdry. It feels like a very bizarre story. If Rob Long says he is good with Jim Palmer, then that's good enough for me. So I got nothing else to say about it. We got to call Mace. Koufax.
Yes, first to do this, 65 and 66. I guess that's
How many
the
more
Cy
do
Young.
I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7.
Yeah. So I think you need
4 more.
Yes, 4 or 5 more.
How about Pedro?
Yes.
How about
1, 2, 3.
Who am I not thinking of? Man, I don't know.
Yeah, still 2 on this side of the millennium, and then 1 in the 60s.
This side of the millennium. Christ. Greinke? DeGrom?
Yes, DeGrom in 2018, 2019.
Another on this side of the millennium.
Mm-hmm.
Lord. Man, I am not. Help me.
It's
not
or
Felix,
National League
right?
not Felix. National League West, but it is West.
Coast. Big Tim Lincecum.
Tim Lincecum, 08 and 09. Sorry. And then in 68 and 69.
And actually, you know what's really funny? I don't know why I didn't guess it. I would have guessed Bumgarner first. I don't know why I went to Lincecum first. Yeah.
68, 69.
Oh, Danny McClain. Danny McClain.
Sure.
He was also
He's not
MVP.
in the Hall of Fame.
That's crazy. Yeah, he was MVP too. All right, that's a good list. Very good. That's a tidbit. We'll get tubular here in just a second as we are winding down for a Thursday edition of the program. And we brought up Jim Smith being on the cover of this print issue of Press Box, but also Jim Smith was a guest with Stan the Fan Charles this week. It was a busy week for Stan, catching up with Maryland AD Jim Smith, as well as former Orioles catcher Rick Dempsey. If you missed either of those shows, you can find them right now, facebook.com/PressBoxSports, youtube.com/PressBoxOnline, or PressBoxOnline.com/video. And as always, Stan shows brought to you by the Costas Inn and the all-new Costas Inn, now open in Timonium at the Grandstand. Well, I got a funny feeling it's going to be this week that there will be a new all-time leading receiver, yards-wise, in Ravens history. As going into Sunday's game, Mark Andrews sits 3 yards behind our next guest, who you know is not only one of my favorite Ravens, but one of my favorite human beings of all time. He is a legend in every sense of the word. It is a pleasure to welcome back to the program our friend, Mr. Derrick Mason, who is with us now on GCR. Mace, it's Glenn. It's always great to catch up, brother. Thank you for taking the time for us.
No problem. Especially in a situation like this where you're seeing the fruits of someone's labor, and that someone is Mark Andrews. So I'm always willing to come on and speak glowingly of anybody that puts on that black and purple.
I figured that was going to be the case. Can you, Mace, honestly, can you tell me, Is this something that you think about, that you care about, that like matters to you? Is it something you're like, wow, it is really cool that I'm the Ravens' all-time leading receiver? Not that it means that you don't want Mark to break the record. I understand that.
Mm-hmm.
But like, what do those types of things mean to an athlete? Can you describe that?
Records are meant to be broken. Now, some it takes decades to do. Like the Jerry Rice record, I'm not sure if anybody is going to break that record unless they, give you 2 or 3 yards per 1 yard. Because guys are making so much money, they're not willing to play that long. And Jerry did it for 20 plus years at a high level, basically. So, but records, like I said, records are meant to be broken. Records are a visual sort of gauge of what you meant to the league, what you meant to the organization. I think that's what those are. When you go back and you look and you see certain guys are, headed to, at the top or right near the top in certain statistical categories, that just shows you, how much work they put in for the organization and how dedicated they were to their craft. So, my receiving record, I knew ultimately it was going to be broken. One, because the league has changed.
Yep.
It's heavy pass now, and there's nothing wrong with that whatsoever. So just based on that, first, you knew the record had to come down eventually. And then, you have the best quarterback in all of football right now. So that's a plus, too. And you have some fabulous weapons around him. So it was just a matter of time before a record like that was going to get broken. And what better person to break it is a guy that came in with Lamar and Mark Andrews. And those two guys have been joined to the hip since then. And the one thing I believe that contributes to this, and I understand that you got to have the quarterback to make it happen, to get you the ball. But I think the one key ingredient is your availability. And pretty much every season, I think with the exception of the 21, 22 season, somewhere around there, Mark Andrews has been available, or the 20 season, somewhere around there, where he only played 10 games, I believe. But pretty much before that, I mean, the young man was out there. He was available. He was reliable. And he became the quarterback, Jackson's best friend, in a sense, on the field. I don't know what the relationship is like off the field, but I'm sure it's great. But I've said on the field, he became that reliable guy that no matter what, especially in key times, it's not about plays, it's about players. And he went to Mark Andrews a lot in those critical times. So that just shows you the rapport that those two guys built, the friendship. And you knew ultimately, if he played there long enough, he was going to break the record. So kudos to him. I've watched him from afar. I think he's one of the best in the game. I think he has a strong argument to be a Hall of Famer. But his career is not done yet. He has a lot more seasons to go. So I just want to say congratulations to him, because I know he will get it.
Yeah.
So congratulations to him. But then there's a young guy right behind him.
It's true.
That's going to end up breaking his record than Zay Flowers.
Yep.
So, I mean, what better way to, sort of break a record is to break a guy's record that had been there for a while, and then the guy behind you, as good as he has been, Zay, he's going to ultimately break it. So, but right now it's about Mark Andrews, and congratulations. I'm going to say it right now. Congratulations to that young man, because he put in the work. He was available, and he was reliable.
Mace, it jumps out at me, the things that you're saying about Mark Andrews. I think the other thing is he's handled adversity, right? Like, we remember the playoff game against the Titans a few years back that was not his best day. And then, of course, we know what happened in the playoffs last year. And there have been times where it's felt like people were willing to write off Mark Andrews. There were people around this town last year that said it's time to move on and make Isaiah Likely the guy. And yet Mark Andrews has come back this year and catching 2 touchdowns against the Vikings. Like, he just looks like the exact same guy he always has, and he's been very steady. While there have been moments that weren't his greatest moments, he has bounced back and handled them really well, and I feel like that's a testament to why it's cool to see him have a moment like this coming up.
Absolutely. You know, as a player, you're going to face adversity, whether it be, you know, dropping a pass in a game, injury, whatever the case may be. You're gonna face adversity. And what happens when that comes? Are you going to succumb to it and allow it to bury you, or are you going to fight through it and come out on the top? And Mark Andrews seems to fight through all that stuff and continue to come out on top. Listen, guys don't drop balls on purpose. Guys don't run the wrong route on purpose. It just happens. I'm sure more than anybody, he wanted to catch those passes last year. So I get the fan base being upset and angry. But one play like that, especially a guy that is giving you play after play after play after play and has been available and reliable, that one play shouldn't determine who he is as a football player. He's still a damn good football player. And if you put him in that situation 9 more times, I'm betting on him to catch all 9 of them. It was just that one that he did. And unfortunately for the Ravens, it, you know, was a part of why they didn't advance last season. But, you know, I'm sure he's had his moments with that catch, but you got to be a professional and put it behind you. And no matter what he's faced, it seems like he's been able to do that.
All right, let me just put it this way: you had this record playing 6 years in Baltimore, and I mean obviously you ended up with Joe, you were with Steve, of course. Like you had some good quarterback play, but let's just say you had played 10 years in Baltimore with Lamar Jackson. How many yards would you have finished with Derrick Mason?
After, you know, it's based on my career and my availability within my career.
Yes,
I think I only missed 2 games.
Yes, where you literally were playing after we thought you were dead on the field a couple of
Exactly.
times.
So if I played 10 years with Lamar, I'm sure that my numbers would have been much larger. If I played 10 years with Joe I'm sure my numbers would have been much larger. It's just a different game. But I stand on what I did. I left my mark there with that organization. I worked hard. I performed hard. I played through injury. I did everything that organization asked me to do, and I gave all that I could to that organization. So I stand on what I did there, but it's great to see someone like Mark Andrews, who's been there since Lamar's been there, spent his whole career there. And some of the things that I've talked about just a few seconds ago, that's what he's doing now. Yep. He's giving it his all, and he's doing the things that the organization is asking him to do. There's always going to be a young stud behind you. There will always be. And Isaiah Likely is that young stud, and that kid is good. Yep. But it's not about him. It's about Andrews. You're competing with yourself each and every year. You're trying to reinvent yourself each and every year, not because of the guy behind you, but because if you don't, people are going to figure you out in this game. So, and Mark Andrews has been able to do that.
Derrick Mason with us here on GCR. Mason, I guess I have to ask, everybody knows you still do radio down in Nashville. We have the never-ending parade of Titans who become Ravens continued a couple of weeks ago. What did you think when you found out the Ravens had traded for Draymond Jones, who I thought looked really good in his debut? And, you know, a lot's been made about how it's been seamless for him because of the time he was with Mike McDonald in Seattle, and then Denard Wilson, obviously, down there in Tennessee. But what did you make of it, and what do you think Draymond Jones can do for the Ravens the rest of the way?
I'm not surprised. Draymond Jones was playing really well the last 4 or 5 games he was here. He was popping on film. And he was one of the guys that was showing you no matter how the season is going, I'm still going to play hard. And I think you're going to get that. And I think you're going to get it times there in Baltimore because of, you know, the aggressive style and the rotation and the guys that they have now. I'm sure he's going to be a key part, and I'm sure he's going to continue to develop. I thought, in my mind, they were going to go after Jeffrey Simmons because to me, Jeffrey Simmons embodies a Baltimore Raven. I mean, he's great here, and the organization loves him here, and I'm glad he stayed because they need him, for this rebuild. But I wouldn't have been surprised had he had Baltimore facilitated something to get him there because, to me, if he's not in the Titans uniform, the only other uniform I could see him is in a Baltimore uniform, because again, he embodies what they want to do as an organization and how they play. And I even joked with a friend yesterday. I said, don't be surprised if L'Jarius Sneed is on that team next year. So, Draymond Jones, I think he's going to fit in perfectly with what Baltimore loves to do. He seemed like a great teammate here, a great hard worker. So, again, I think you're going to get that times, with Draymond Jones headed to the second half of the season.
Last time the Ravens tried to trade for a Titan in season, they ended up signing that guy in free agency afterwards. So to your point, maybe that could still play out and still work out. Are you watch this team? I try to remember because actually I talked to Coach Fisher a few weeks ago. There was a season where you guys got off to like a 1-4 start, right, and ended up still turning around and making it run. How worried were you about the Ravens sitting at 1-5? Did you still have confidence, and do you feel like they can still be, despite that miserable start, like in the mix to try to win the Super Bowl when this is all said and done?
I think they still should be one of the top 2 or 3 teams to win a Super Bowl, even with the record that they have now. Listen, anytime you start off bad, I think there is sort of that come to Jesus moment, in a sense, where it's like, hey, we either going to continue to travel down this road that isn't getting us anywhere, or we're going to get back on the right road, which we have been on for year after year with Lamar here and these guys. So they got enough veteran leadership on that team that I would bet on them to right the ship before I think they're not going to make the playoffs. When you look at some teams and they start off 1-5, look at their leadership. Their leadership will determine whether they can climb out of that 1-5 hole. And I'm not saying that every 1-5 team can make it to the playoffs or win the Super Bowl. What I'm saying is that when you have those veteran guys that have been through it, that 1-5 or that 1-6 to start off may not end up being bad as the season goes on. Maybe you get wins that people thought you were not going to get, and you're able to become a better team in that second half. So they have enough veteran leadership around there, and it starts with Lamar and Derrick Henry, that I wasn't worried about whether this team could turn it around or not. I think the only worry was how were the other teams around them going to do, especially out of conference. And it seems like no one took advantage other than Pittsburgh, and it seems like Pittsburgh is sort of taking a step back, but no team really took advantage of that time when Baltimore, started off so bad.
It's been really tough for us to see that, too, for Pittsburgh, Mace. It's just killed us that they haven't been able to take advantage of it. We brought up Joe earlier. I'm running out of platitudes, and I get it. Like, the Bengals defense is really bad, and if Joe Burrow comes back, we know he's going to play because he's Joe Burrow. I understand that. But, man, what more can you say about this guy and how he's continuing to play at this level into his 40s? And I feel like I'm even having more fun listening to him just talk about how much it all means to him at this point.
I'm sure it's, for one, I'm sure it's an honor. And he understands that it's a blessing, how rare it is for an individual to be in the league as long as he has been, to accomplish some of the things that he has accomplished and play with some of the players that he has played with. So I'm sure from that standpoint, he's thinking like, man, I'm honored to even be still playing at this, because there's a bunch of guys that are not, that still want to. But Joe is just a pro. He's just a consummate pro. He's not going to wow you every game at this point of his career. But what he does is that he gives you some leadership. He understands what to say and when to say it. Just watch him on his interviews. He never gets too high and he never gets too low. He keeps everything on a straight and narrow. And you need that type of presence inside of your locker room. He's sort of To me, he and Jameis Winston sort of have some of the same traits. Jameis is a little bit louder than Joe. Joe's more of an introvert, but they both show great leadership. And when they go out there, they're bringing a sense of pride, when they go out on the field. They're bringing a sense of, hey, listen, don't worry about it. We can get it done. It may not work on the end, but those guys, when they're on the field with guys like that, they trust them. And they trust that they're going to do whatever they need to do to try to win a football game. And that's what Joe does. Listen, it don't always work out perfect, but you can't go into the game and look at Joe and say, oh, we got this one. An opponent can't go in the game and say, oh, we're going to dominate, Joe because he's an older quarterback. He's been around. Oh, he threw, 2 or 3 interceptions last week. No. Joe will come back out, regroup, and he'll make you look like an idiot because he'll throw for 5 touchdowns and he'll throw for 300-400 yards. So that's just the type of guy he is. He understands the game, I think, on a different level now. He's a lot more mature. So, but I hope he doesn't win. I'm pulling for Baltimore. So
yeah. I'm with you. We root for him every time that he's playing the Steelers this Sunday. We are big Joe Flacco fans. That's the way that it works. Mace, you got anything going on that we can talk up for you, man?
No, not at this present moment. I am just getting myself prepared for the holidays. I'll be with my kids, so we'll enjoy the holidays, and that's really about it. Just continue to prepare for work and figure out different ways to talk about the Titans in their, dismal season.
It's not great. That is for sure.
No, not at all.
Mace, love you, brother. I appreciate you taking the time and all the kind things you had to say about Mark Andrews. We know what a class act you are, and you know how much you are still loved here, my friend. Always appreciate you. Thanks for doing this today.
No problem. Anytime. You know that. Love you. Enjoy the holidays.
Appreciate you, buddy. The great Derrick Mason with us here on GCR before Mark Andrews set to likely this Sunday, as he only needs 4 yards, break his all-time receiving record. All right, real quick, here's what's coming up tonight. Totally tubular-wise, NFL Week 11 does get underway, technically, as it's Jets-Patriots. But, hey, it is a football game, 8:15 on Amazon Prime Video. Maryland women hosting Towson tonight at 7 on Big Ten Network Plus. Everything else, find it.
Terps better be careful.
Yeah, man, you never know. MVP announcement tonight at 7 on MLB Network, and everything else, again, GlennClarkRadio.com. Anything non-sports-wise?
Not a whole lot. Second episode of Alex versus A-Rod.
Ah, yes.
I know you're excited.
Yes.
Perfect.
Oh, good, yeah. That's perfect timing for that. Wonderful.
My Nightmare Stalker, the Eva LaRue story on Paramount Plus. So maybe some.
You got to remind me what the one was that we talked about the other day because
Caroline Flack. Yeah, Hulu.
Not now.
Hulu. The Beast in Me and Netflix as well is supposed to be good. Claire Danes and Matthew Reese.
Okay.
It's like a thriller kind of series on Netflix. So
very good. Thanks today to Derrick Mason. Thanks also to Patrick Stevens and to Ken Zalis. We'll get all of it up in the greatest hits section of the
Jonas Brothers and Asia Wilson on Jimmy Fallon.
Tab. They're going on tour together. Tab at GlennClarkRadio.com. Tomorrow on the program, Stan the Fan is back, right?
Yeah, Stan is
going
to be here. Sorry. I got
know you got. I understand
that.
Chad Brown, former Broncos linebacker, he's calling Sunday's game for Compass Media. And
Stan who?
Stuff and Things.
Yeah.
Stuff and Things. Tonight, I'm on BAL 8 to 11. Torrey Smith will join me tonight. Talk some Ravens. Also, he's giving you a chance to win tickets and field passes for the Thanksgiving game. So find out more tonight, and you'd be helping out Level 82, which is a wonderful thing. So tune in then. All right. Thanks to everybody at PressBox, all of our great sponsors and partners, including Game Day Men's Health, 1-800-GAMBLER, helpmygamblingproblem.org, Nick's Fish House, Baltimore area High's Dairy Stores, CountySports.zone, your local Toyota dealer, buyatoyota.com, and the Costas Inn. Thanks to Griffin at Griffin_Bass. Follow us, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at Glenn Clark Radio. Have a great Thursday evening. Go Maryland or Towson women. Duke sucks.